everyone, it's Hairyfrankfurt, and today I am finally getting a chance to tell you about my 2019 bullet journal setup. Now, I must admit, every year I feel like I leave it to the last minute, I take too long, I'm behind on the trend, no one's gonna care. But at the end of the day, I really wanted to show you my bullet journal setup because I've kind of not been bullet journaling for a while and I'm finally getting back into it. And the excitement of bullet journaling again is something that I just really wanted to share with you. But let's just jump into my new Moleskine journal. Yes, you heard correctly. I am in fact using a Moleskine softback journal, which I love for the fact that it's nice and light and I love the way the softback feels. But unfortunately, I just don't really love the paper, which you'll see in this setup. For the pens that I'm using, I've not changed anything. These are just my Pigma Microns. For most of the writing, I use the 01, which is a 0.25mm. And then for numbers and small things, I use my 005. And for any major headers, I go in and use the graphic pen, which is a 1mm, I believe. And for a change, because I needed another pen, I picked up the Artline Fine Liner in 04, and I was actually really pleasantly surprised with the way that one writes. For a little bit of colour, I went and used the Artline Supreme Fine pens in pastel. I was actually really happy with the way these colours came out, especially the yellow on the paper, because they are quite pastel and pale, and they are a 0.4mm as well, so the perfect size. And for a little bit of extra colour, I did add in some of the blue Stabilo highlighter in this pastel pack, which bled straight through, which you'll see, but a really nice color combination here. If you want to go and pick out any of the products that I've mentioned, they'll be linked in an Amazon store down below. And with that being said, let's jump into the bullet journal setup. So starting off on pretty much the first page after the If Lost But This Belongs To, I'm just drawing in the 2019 for kind of like a cover page, but I'm not making it artistic at all. And here you can see me using the Pigma Micron graphic, and then I go and do the year at a glance on the other page, which is basically just the whole year to a page, just a calendar. For the months and for the days, I'm using my Pigma Micron 01, and then for the actual day numbers, I'm using the 005. I really wanted to keep this nice and clean because it is the first page of the journal and it kind of sets up the whole thing. So I always get kind of scared with drawing things in and trying to be artistic. For the next page, I am doing, again, just a super simple spread. This is technically your future log, but unfortunately I didn't do the entire year. I just did 6 months and I started writing something on the other page. I will say I am kind of glad that I did that because it means that I can only really use this for 6 months and I can get a better journal, but I mean, in all honesty, I probably won't have this last longer than 6 months anyways. But again, just using the 01 for the names of the months and the names of the days, and then the 005 for the days. And then I did leave 31 lines downwards to ensure that I can fill in any other events for the month on the corresponding dot. With that spread, I did have them 8 dots across and filled up the whole page so that I could have room for everything that I needed. On the next spread, I have 2 very utilitarian pages. The first one is a grid spacing guide, which was an idea that I kind of, I wouldn't say stole, but borrowed from Amanda Rach Doodles. So I'm putting the numbers for each dot grid across the top, and then for the same thing down below. And then I'm filling in a bill tracker so that I can keep track of when all my bills are kind of due and when to expect them come out. And then I'm doing a weekly budget page as well. For the actual grid spacing, I use those pastel pens that I was showing you before, and I realized that I can only do 1/4 and 1/3 on the top. So from left to right, there's enough dots to have or there's the right amount of dots to have thirds and quarters. And then for the down for the down axis, I guess, there's only enough for quarters because there are 40 dots down in a Moleskine journal and 24 across, in case you're wondering. Now, unfortunately for that page, I didn't actually have any kind of header that I wanted to use, so I just wrote it in and it looks really messy, which you'll see soon. And for both of these pages, the only thing that didn't ghost at all was the pastel colors. The next page was my body tracker and my year in workouts page, which was something that I again borrowed from the Petite Planner this time. I really appreciated that she had such a cohesive way of tracking her measurements, but unfortunately I learnt the hard way when I was trying to rule this up that the Moleskine journal isn't big enough. It doesn't have enough dots. So for the weight tracker that I'm putting in now, there is enough space for all of the months, but then for the measurements and body fat percentage tracker thing, there's only enough up until November if I wanted to write in the body part measurement, if that makes sense. So I'm measuring bust, waist, hips, left arm or left thigh, left arm, right arm, and body fat. And in order to write that in, I had to forget December. So again, it's a good thing that I'm only using this journal up until July. And again, I realized that the Petite Planner's journal was slightly bigger than mine because each of these boxes where I'm supposed to write in the number are very small. They're only 2 by 2, which I thought would be bigger than it was. So for whatever reason, it didn't really work out quite as well as I wanted it to. And on the next page, I'm just doing a header again in my graphic liner for a year of workouts. And for this one, I'm just doing kind of like a tracker style. So the months going across sideways and then the days going downwards. And then I'm using different colors for either a leg workout, a push workout, a pull workout. I think I also had HIIT, class, or other, because I want to incorporate other exercises into my regime. And I picked out different pastel colors for each of these ones from that art line kit that I showed you earlier. Next, I just wrote 2018 and 2019 so that I could reflect on everything that happened in 2018 and then set my goals for 2019. I really like doing it this way so that I can make it a little bit more creative and add some doodles, and it's kind of more reflective for me, I find. And then the next page is again borrowed from the Petite Planner. It is monthly challenges, and with this one, the way I did the boxes, I penciled them out and then I wrote the name of the month over the line so that when I drew the boxes in the pen, it kind of looked like there was a perfectly cut out space in the box for the month name. So it was a interesting endeavor because you can only see half of the word when you're ruling the line, but I think it worked out pretty well. And for all of this page, except for the header, I used the art line in 04, which was actually a really good size. Then, as I was going back over everything that I did, I realized I did want to color in the bubble lettering on my fitness tracker page, and this was an absolute catastrophe because I found out later that it completely bled through, like terribly, which you'll see soon. And after that, I was pretty much satisfied with the amount of spreads that I had. However, in my January setup, I will be adding a few different spreads to my yearly spreads, if you will. But here's basically just an overview of everything so you can get a good close look of the handwriting that I used, as well as how things turned out. Hopefully you also get a good look at the ghosting and the absolute bleed through on some of the pages as well. I'm pretty disappointed with the handwriting that was used for the months on my future log, but I'm not too upset by it. Like, it's not the end of the world. And here you can also see I've started filling in some of the holidays, so you can see how it kind of works out logistically. So like Valentine's Day is on the 14th dot grid after the months finish, and just trying to fill all of those in. The next page you can see the ghosting from the last page. So we've got the grid spacing page where you can see those pretty pastel colors. I love the combination there. And the terrible grid spacing title that I did. And then the bill tracker, which I've already started to fill in, and my weekly budget, which will be worked out after I can add all of that up. Made a little bit of a mistake with one of my bills, but it's not that big of a deal. Again, you can see the terrible ghosting of the fitness tracker on the other page, as well as the bleed through. Respectively, you can see the bleed through from those pages onto this one as well. My 2018 reflections and my 2019 goals page. Super clean, super sleek. Soon to be filled in with lots of different things. And unfortunately, ghosting and a little bit of bleed through from my monthly challenges. But I have decided on the monthly challenge for January, which is going to be 3 meals a day, which is probably going to be a bit of a challenge, but I will probably keep you updated if that's something you want to see. And if you have any other kind of health and fitness challenges that you would like to see me do, leave them down below. I hope you enjoyed this bullet journal setup, and if you did, make sure you subscribe, and you will see me in the next video, which is one of these boxes. So click these boxes to watch them, and make sure you have clicked both of these little heads here, because one is my vlogging channel where I'm going to continue to attempt daily vlogging, and the other one is this channel right here, so you can stay up to date with everything that I'm doing here. And if staying up to date is what you want to do, which I really think it is, you definitely want to hit that little bell. So go ahead and do that, and you will see me in the next one. Okay? Bye!